Today we're talking drums. I'm not talking snare drums. I'm not talking drum line. We're not talking neck cannon. We are talking garage door drums, probably the most important part. Welcome to the Garage Authority Podcast, powered by A1. I'm your host, Jonathan Phillips, and today, returning, the one, the only, the funniest garage door manager in the world, the great DK Dylan Kepley. What's up, my guy?
Give me the belt. Give me the belt.
So, how you been living? How you been doing?
Chilling.
Yeah?
Chilling. It's still Mother Nature out here in Phoenix. Spooked us for a second with 106 in March. It's April, and it's capital C crisp. It's like it's still like a little
The weather's
chilly.
been nice, dude.
That's fine.
Yeah.
5 years in a row, the summer has dragged on to like where I can't even have my kid wear certain Halloween outfits. October 31st, it's still just bruising out there.
Yeah.
And so when I wake up in like early in the morning to go lift and I still have to put like a little sweatshirt on, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That sets the tone for
Hey,
the
hard
day.
to complain.
Yeah. Nice little sweater hug.
Yeah, it's gonna be 4 months of 118 degrees, and we're just gonna batten down the hatches and get there, and get through it. But as long as it wants to stay, it can stay away as long as possible. So we're living nice and cool, and it's a perfect time to be in Phoenix.
You ready for this dope segue?
Yeah.
What would suck during the summertime is if your garage door all of a sudden broke and didn't close and all that heat. And then you're dealing with that when you just want to go inside to the nice AC. Now, we always talk about springs and cables and this and that. We're going to get a little bit technical today on drums. Drums in particular, we want you guys to know how they work, why they work, what to look for, what technicians are telling you, and the reason for their importance. So I figured, being a man that's got to coach everybody every single day on communication skills to their clients, that we would bring you on.
Here I am.
And we'd talk about drums and what they do and how they work. So what drums do you have over there?
Basic functionality, these guys, we have our two standard, our two most commonly seen.
Right.
When it comes to the doors, we have a Canon X96 right there.
Yeah.
That's what we consider a standard drum, good for 8 feet. Anything up to 8 feet tall for the doors. Now, your drums are the whole torsion line, and the whole entire garage works in this as a human body where everything works in conjunction.
Right.
When when there's one part that is lagging, it can really damage the rest of the parts that are around it. Drums really take a lot of that wear and tear. Now your drum functionality is just that cable gets hooked in, the cables, those tendons that are on the sides, high tension, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Don't touch them. High tension on both sides, your cables sit in between each little slit that's right there. And they're fitted for each individual slot as the door goes up and the door goes down.
Yeah.
Biggest thing that my technicians look at is making sure that, obviously these are the correct, they are the correct drums for the door that is on site.
Right.
There's no cable rub, we look at, you can see normal wear and tear from the outside, but the biggest part of the inspection goes from when we actually take it off of the system and can see the inside.
Okay.
So this is a standard. This is a standard 96. This is on 90% of the doors that we go to, especially if we see a lot of them, they're the original ones to the home.
Right.
What we look for when we take these off is any kind of scarring on the outside and in the inside.
Okay.
And everything. Again, all these parts work together. They work together. And so when one is subpar, all the other parts start taking the brunt of that. It's the same as if, you see professional athletes, basketball players tear their Achilles. Well, chances are they were having knee issues. They were having knee issues, and the Achilles and everything was taking a lot of the brunt. These drums are in the same boat. So we always look for scarring inside.
Yeah.
Any kind of rubbing from the bearing and whatnot as these rotate and everything, and they can really dig into the torsion tube. So it's something that we are always looking at. So there's just a standard one right here. Probably what you have if you go outside and look. Don't touch. Look. if this is what you more than likely have going on.
Yeah.
And then when we go to the upgrade for a residential door, yes, this is what we call a safety drum. It's a 144. That's good for up to 12 feet. And you can see something I always did with our clients. Anytime we're bringing parts down and everything, we're going through a very thorough inspection.
Right.
Every single time. And as a guy, again, as a former home inspector, big on the photos, big on the show and tell, I want our clients, and whether it was myself or my technicians who are out there, to be able to give a full education of what we're looking at, why this may be bad, and why it needs to get replaced for safety, and consistency purposes. And I would show these to people all the time. Again, this is very standard. We can see the width right here, and then we see the safety drum, the 144. Now, these are good for up to 12 feet, 12 feet of height on a door. But I would still put them on 8-foot doors. Or 7 or 8-foot doors, like a typical residential. And it's just the amount of space that you have there that if for whatever reason, and it happens to everybody, you bump that bottom. I heard it 10 times a week.
Yeah.
Door was going up. I looked in my rear view mirror. Thought I was cleared and good to go. They hit a little bit of that bottom panel, which is where the cables are looped onto with those bottom brackets.
We were not clear.
and we're not. And it's okay. Listen, did it myself. Yeah, did it myself. Brand new home. Brand new home. Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
And that was before I worked for the company. Yeah, that was, and again, don't touch call a professional. Had to get that bad boy in. But, when you bump that bottom panel, and especially because the cable loops are right there.
Yeah.
It's very easy for it to lose slack just enough. And that cable pops right off of the drum.
Right.
Once it pops right off of the drum and everything, that's when it starts getting wrapped up. Door goes cattywampus. Great word. Goes cattywampus. And at that point in time, we have a hard stop.
Yeah.
Non-functioning door. Call a professional. Steer clear.
Yeah.
It's it can be very dangerous.
I always get freaked out, like, because there's my queuing cameras and stuff in garages now. And every time the door goes crooked, people are like, what'll fix this?
If I hit the button.
If I hit this button eventually.
Boop, boop, boop.
And then all of a sudden we have what we call in the industry a magic carpet.
Yes.
Where it's just stuck floating up in the air. And I'm just like, oh no, we went from a little fix to a really big one.
I would, again, hard stop. If that happens, hard stop. If it's not, if anything, anything, if we're hearing anything that's out of the ordinary, call a professional. But I would talk to people about these two, again, very typical residential style drums that we offer. The difference between, again, how wide these are with each other. If you have a regular 7 or 8 foot, tall door, there's so much more slack room for that cable.
Yeah.
In the event, again, God forbid, and it happens to everyone, in the event that you do have a little bit of a fender bender with your own garage door,
right,
you're much more likely to keep that cable on that drum, even if it comes off of these little slits right here that keep it in place.
Right,
you're so much more likely to keep that cable on the drum and avoid a hung door by having something like this. I would offer these every house I went to. Every house I went to that didn't have them and had just these standard drums, I always offered the 144s because the amount of times that I've had those safety drums go, and we were able to again avoid catastrophe.
Right.
I've been on site for those where somebody did have a little bit of a mix up and everything, and I was like, all right, great. All we need to do is just loop these back over.
Right.
They didn't go off. The door's not off kilter, and you avoid going from this is a minor fix and it's only going to cost a couple $100 to now this door is damaged and it's a full blown replacement, and now we're talking thousands of dollars,
right?
That nobody expected.
Just a little drum. That's all. And two schools of thought whenever it comes to a drum. So one, I don't think people realize, and this mostly being for homeowners and technicians, drums are probably the most important part of the door. The type of drum you put on there affects the type of track, the door's weight that can be applied to it. Like, I think on these drums right here, it's like, I could probably look it up, but it's somewhere around like 500 30 pounds
The weight
somewhere
limit.
for the pair.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And now you get up to like 750. So I would go to these big doors that weigh 600, 700 pounds. And I saw one of these up there and I'm just like, ooh, like if that actually chips and breaks off completely while that 800 pound door's moving, oh my goodness.
You look at, I've had technicians go out and I see those pictures and they don't say anything about it. And I was like, ooh, that's a 5-layer wood overlay that has these little training wheels on it. And the same way you would as if, you go and see a big door like that and it's a regular operator as opposed to an I-beam operator.
Right.
There's just regulations and there's regulations and codes for everything just for safety purposes. I mean, again, you're not wrong. These are all those parts working consistently in conjunction with one another is again human body. But the drums are the one thing that will affect the IPPT of the springs that you put on the door by 2-3 points.
How many turns?
Exactly.
What type of track we can put it on? Like I said, doors weight. Another thing I just got done at the IDA, which is a big garage door convention in Las Vegas. I had a blast talking with people, but I was talking with other companies. And I had a debate, and I won by the end of it. But I won. Not going to call out, you know who you are. I won.
We got the W.
Yeah, got the dub. Good. Got the dub. But he was telling me, he's like, drums don't go bad.
That's wild.
That's why. Listen, man.
That's
like one, chipping, cracking, anything like that. Anything of the ridges to where it's starting to get a sharp point to where that cable's grinding across that.
Yes.
And then I was talking about the back of it and he didn't understand. He's like, this doesn't go bad. I was like, no, this system, one, it's making sure this door goes up completely straight or as straight as possible, so we're not putting all that weight on one side. And two, if your torsion line isn't level, that means the whole system is like wobbling as it rotates. Correct. And then it just hits unevenly against a bearing. So do bearings go bad? Yes. Here's a big reason why. So once this spacer's done and it can't, as it rotates and goes up, it's just mashing against that bearing,
and it grinds in your tube. It grinds. I've shown people, and I've had them go up and feel if I bring the entire tube down. They're like, oh, it's a little line, and it's like, no. Like it's
cutting through the metal.
This is cutting. This is like slowly but surely.
Yeah, like
water on a rock.
Yeah,
it's slowly eroding through this.
Yeah, and that's nasty when it breaks.
Metal on metal. I say it's metal. They're like, well, what happens when it goes? Well, that's exactly what it does. It's gonna go.
Yeah,
it's gonna go.
It's
just like that.
Gravity said hello.
It's their parts. The fact that they never go bad. That's bananas to me.
He's been doing it, and I get it. Like looking at it, okay, this is gonna stay together, but this against the bearing cuts into the tube. It cuts the cable. Like get a fresh set. The health of these and the domino effect that we talk about. Let's not play with it and just get it right the first time.
Your technician, whether it's A1, whether it's a different company, every technician that comes out to your house, and it doesn't matter what home service and industry it is, should be showing you everything.
Yeah.
Photos of everything. Again, like it's a lot easier to inspect these, and to inspect this particular part, obviously when the whole system is disassembled.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been out to homes where you can see physical cracking.
Yes.
Physical cracking, chips away. Even worse than sharp is when I've seen this where it's flat across.
Yeah, so now it doesn't hold it even.
There's nothing keeping it. It's just it's like tying electrical cord and it's just tangling.
Yeah.
Every time, and it makes and people are like, oh, I kept hearing this sound, and I said, yeah, those are stainless steel cables just rubbing against each other. Like, yeah, it sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah,
like, and then it's pictures. Look, and no one expects you to keep an eye out on this all the time. That's why we preach about yearly maintenance and everything. But it's every home service, and especially your garage door technician, should be showing you all of this. All of your parts, especially these drums, which are so important for a ton of logistic reasons, and show you the wear and tear and go through the options of replacing them. And then I would always walk our people through and say, if we don't get these replaced, these are this is eventually, essentially the snowball effect. That's what is going to happen over time.
Right.
And everything. This little $160 for the pair.
Yeah.
Is the difference between, it can be the difference between, again, $160 and $4,000.
Yeah.
Starting.
Huge.
Yeah. It's yeah. You and you'll get a new set with a whole brand new door. With a whole brand new door.
It was time for an upgrade anyways. Has the best ROI of any home improvement.
Ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
Steel, insulation, steel.
Yeah. I don't know about the insurance claim whenever it falls on top of the car, but you'll have a new door and it'll be pretty. I think another thing that really, boy, it grinds my gears, just grinds my gears, is I'll go to a door and they have the wrong drum on it. Like we were talking about the weight ratio, but take this bad boy right here. So this is a high lift drum. So instead of a door to where, goes up like 8 inches on average, there's bigger radiuses. It's where it goes straight up in the air for a little bit and then kicks over. People have it when they have vaulted ceilings. They want more space. And I go to jobs and it's a high lift door and they have...
I see it all the time.
This on it. And they're like, oh, we had a company come out. They just cut some track real quick and lifted everything up in the air. And I'm like, well, your jack shaft is dead because it's not balanced right. Because this is... As a door, springs are full tension when the door's on the ground. And as a door goes up in the air, the spring's coming unwound. Well, if it's going straight up in the air for a while, the weight isn't dissipating in the horizontal track.
Correct.
Right? So if you have it on that, the spring's getting weaker, and that's why the door is jerky and it'll be really balanced and really hot and then really heavy. So the way the high lift drums, an appropriate drum is designed, starts here, and as it goes up, we're going to step down, kind of like gears on a bike to make it really simple.
Yep.
So even though the spring's getting weaker with less turns, we're making it stronger as far as the torque applied from it. And then as soon as it hits, if you're a homeowner, as soon as it starts to kick over, that's when it should start hitting on this regular drum.
The amount of trigonometry, algebra. Listen, folks. I Pennsylvania public education. I am not a mathematician. I have never had to use more formulas than when it came to calculating these different types of drums and everything.
Yeah.
Never in my entire life, but it's so dire.
Yes.
And so we see these all the time, especially out here in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, car lifts.
Everywhere.
People have the car lifts, a lot of collector items, and we very recently just had one of our senior technicians who deals with a lot of these. It's that is his bread and butter. And he goes out to a home. It was very much the same, very jerry-rigged. Cut the track, these drums on a door that's going 12 feet in the air.
Goodness.
Over top of, hold on, sir. Over top of $3 million worth of cars. I saw the pictures on the job because he calls us, customer calls us out there for a tune-up and everything, and he starts taking pictures and he goes, what do you want me to do here?
Right.
What do you want me to do here? How should I and I said, break the news to this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, he says, Dylan, there's 5 collector cars that are in here that are one of 100. And this guy doesn't understand that he has a 12-foot glass door that is just over top of them.
Yeah.
Over top, and I just said, man, the hands of the Lord himself are holding that thing up. And he had, and we don't smack talk. I never smack talk in other companies.
Some people don't know.
No, they don't know. And he doesn't know, and he didn't know the questions to ask. And again, before I started working with this company, I sure didn't either.
Right.
God bless our tech. He went through and really walked the guy through everything. And it turns out it was the previous owner that had done it, and whatnot. And so this guy had owned the home for a little bit. We go through and we hit him with everything.
Yeah.
Said, we're going to have to redo this entire system because we want to make sure it gets done properly. And again, not just for consistency purposes, and it works the way it's supposed to work.
Right.
Safety is the biggest one.
Priority numero uno.
Yeah, safety, period. Safety always is the biggest one. And walked him through and educated him as to why, and it came down a lot to this specific 525. and was the same as you said. These are getting weak. This door is up here. It's jerky. It's weak. Like you have such a high percentage of that door going off track.
Yeah, you have one slip of the coupler on the jack shaft or like the internal gears, and then that thing is going
above millions of dollars worth of cars. Yeah, I'm looking. I got Shelby GTs that are in here. We got DeLorean, like all the different. Yeah, and it's like, oh man, hey, like I don't know what your car insurance is like. They'll cut you a check.
Yeah,
this ain't coming back. This ain't coming back. And it's something so tiny like this, but again, it goes into proper education, and the proper training that we do, because with what we provide, our technician knew exactly what to look for.
Yeah.
As soon as he saw it, it was an immediate red flag. And again, a hard stop. We're no longer just lubricating this door. Here's the conversation we need to have. We need to get this done, and we need to get this done correctly, as in the way it should have been done the first time around. And that was something that I'm sure wasn't even offered. It was just like cut, thrown together. Yep, works. 2 thumbs up. See you later, man. No problem.
No,
absolutely not.
Technicians, when they graduate, they have to know everything from this all the way up to this flying saucer. This is a vert lift drum.
That's a UFO.
For people. Yeah, it's the UFO drum. And to what I was saying earlier, that high lift portion to where it has the door. So a vert lift door is just a door that's going to go straight up in the air. So if you're a homeowner that has like a giant RV door, and then you have a little like single car garage, instead of like having tracks and stuff on the way, we're just going to make it nice and sleek, make it go straight up in the air. But with this one, like I'm saying, I've gone to houses to where I think it's like the 525 216. It's just like this on steroids. It's huge. And I saw someone put it on a vert door. And so they have jack shafts on it, and the whole time that it goes up, it just goes. And the operator's just like, wow, wow,
like a carnival ride. Yeah. Like a carnival ride.
Like, let's just put a new drum up there. And he's like, will it run better? I guarantee it.
Yep.
We put it up there, and he's like, I thought that's just how doors
how it's supposed to go.
No, I was like, absolutely any moment, that little down part and a bad cable. But that's what I mean. That door goes straight up in the air. That's not helping with the IPPT at all. The spring's getting weaker. It's coming unwound as it goes up. So we need to make it stronger by making the diameter. And this is the type of stuff that technicians need to know. These are the type of things that you need to look for as a homeowner. If your door goes straight up in the air, your drum should look like this. If it goes up for a little bit, it needs to look like this. Just look at it.
If you've never seen one of the flying saucers, for all the folks at home, and you don't have a vertical door, I don't. Yeah. As soon as I went through the academy process here and everything, all of a sudden, every time I was going to get my tires done or an oil change, you see the flying saucers.
Every time.
You see there's no lights. There's no lights on them or anything. They don't make any woo noises. But all of a sudden, next time you're at a Take 5 or a Valvoline or whatever, because you don't ever think about it.
No.
Yeah. And next time, just look for it, because when are you ever going to see something that looks just like this that's not in a sci-fi movie?
Yeah, and I hope you think of us. I hope you think of us whenever you see those things. Like, oh yeah, that one UFO garage door podcast that I randomly came across.
Those
on
are the guys that were talking about.
Yeah,
those are the guys that were talking about the alien ships on the doors.
I think people probably know more about drums than they wanted to now. I think from the typical homeowner and potentially a technician out there. We hope this helped today.
If you don't, and a biggest thing I would say to everybody, and I think I've preached it every time that I've been on. If you have questions, just ask.
Yeah.
If you have questions, a qualified company with a qualified technician is going to be more than happy to answer whatever question you have. I always loved walking people through and educating them, because that's power to the homeowner.
Yes.
That's power to the homeowner. I always appreciated that, whether it was mechanics, AC guys, whatever, who was going through, and they didn't mind that I was going to sit there and ask them 20 questions. Yeah. They were happy to teach. I was always very happy to walk through with our clients and let them know exactly what I was putting on their door, why I was putting it on their door, and then the long-term benefits of said part, and go through there. If you have questions, ask. That's what their job. That's what my guys who are out there. That's what their job is to educate and answer those questions for you.
Dude, I love you so much. I love it when you.
I love you, Bubba.
I think honestly, how the podcast should go going forward is every other episode is you coming on, because it's
Okay.
always the most fun. I think
Great.
that's what we're gonna do coming forward. Thank you for coming on, brother. Love ya.
Love you.